All right, welcome to group, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. So can we just
Good
go around
afternoon.
really quick and have everyone introduce themselves just so we can remember names, and then we'll get started with our opening activity. Chloe, do you want to go first?
I can go first. I'm Chloe. Nice to see you guys again.
Welcome.
I'm Gian, and nice to see you guys.
Hi, Gian. Welcome to group today.
Thank you all.
My name's Christina. Nice to
Hi,
meet everybody.
hi, Christina. Thank you for being here. All right, so we're going to start with like a grounding activity. I think it's important that we kind of start our groups by like centering ourselves, regulating our nervous system before we get started. So I want everyone to kind of get comfortable in their chairs or place your feet on the floor. You can either soften your gaze kind of off in the distance or close your eyes, whatever you're most comfortable with. So I want you guys to start by taking a nice slow breath in at the count. We'll count to 5 and breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a nice long breath out for 7 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want you guys to continue those deep, nice, deep, slow breaths. And while you're doing that, imagine a warm light in your chest and think of this light as your inner strength. And we all have an inner strength inside of us. With each of our breaths, let that light grow stronger and steadier. And I want you to visualize that light filling your entire body, radiating out from your heart and filling all of your limbs and every part of your body. And then I want you to repeat in your mind while you continue your deep breaths. I am safe in this moment. I am allowed to take up space. So let's do one more nice deep breath. Again, thinking of the phrase, I am safe in this moment. I am allowed to take up space. Let that breath out. And then I would like everyone to slowly return to the room. How's everyone feel?
I think that felt great.
Yeah, it was very relaxing, very nice.
Good. So now we're going to get into heavy stuff. So sorry about that. But we're going to jump right in looking at different patterns that show up in abusive relationships. There's a lot of similarities, even though every relationship looks a little bit different. There are usually similarities between them, and patterns that show up. So I'm going to pull up a document called the Power and Control Wheel, and we're going to take a look at some of the information on there and discuss that. So one moment. Right. Are you guys able to see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, good. So we're going to start talking in the section here where it says using coercion and threats. So as you think about previous relationships that were abusive, I want you to see if you recognize any of these patterns for yourself. Making or carrying out threats to do something to harm you, threatening to leave, threatening to commit suicide, threatening to report to like CPS or other, police or government services, um, putting pressure on you to drop charges after a violent episode, or making you do illegal things. Anyone recognize anything from that little section there?
Yeah, I had kind of an experience similar to that. Mine was more, we had a child together, and he would kind of try to like make it seem like I was crazy and like threaten to like if we broke up, take the child away from me and say that he would keep custody of the child. because I'm crazy and because I have bipolar or whatever. And
Mhm.
I was, I mean, I am a great mother, so he would just use that and use it against me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm sorry you went through that. That is, I think, a common experience for a lot of women. And we're going to talk more also about like using children, and those kind of intimidation tactics as well. Um, So the next one is using intimidation. So making someone afraid by their looks, actions, gestures, um, becoming emotionally dysregulated to the point of breaking things, destroying property, punching holes in the walls, for example, abusing pets, displaying weapons, wielding weapons in front of you. Um, Anyone resonate with any of those tactics?
Yes. Like, when somebody gets enraged and their face starts like you see the veins in their like arms and you see their veins popping and you see them enraged and they're red. That alone can be very triggering,
Mhm.
and that can be just as scary as actually when you do get hit because you see what's to come when they're so enraged like that. And that alone can be really intimidating and scary. And yeah, I just think when they start to yell and it's just and even loud noises can make me feel like triggered. I guess it's PTSD, but just shouting even till now is like very triggering for me.
Yeah, and yes, it definitely is a PTSD response. That makes our nervous system go into fight or flight. A lot of people also had those same experiences starting as a child with a parent who maybe used some of those same tactics and then, followed that pattern later into romantic relationships as well, because that was normalized in their childhood.
Absolutely.
Um, so the next one is using emotional abuse. So putting you down, making you feel bad about yourself, calling names, fat, ugly, lazy, making you think you're crazy, or gaslighting, if anyone's ever heard of that term, playing mind games, humiliating you, or making you feel guilty about things. The next one is using isolation, and this is, a pattern of control, trying to take you away from some of the most important relationships in your life, your family, your friends, controlling where you go, what you read, limiting, your events that you enjoy or hobbies, and then using jealousy to justify those actions. Has anyone ever experienced that?
I guess in my situation, it feels like a combination of a few things. So, like, what happened with me was like he usually wouldn't let me follow any other guys on social media, because he kind of viewed it as me cheating if, he found me texting any other guys or liking their pictures, anything like that. And then, like, when I tried to leave the relationship, he always told me he would kill himself if I ever left him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say most abusers, don't just fit nice and neatly into one of these, sections. It usually is a combination of multiple tactics because, if one tactic isn't working, they might switch it up and use a different one. Um, the next one is minimizing, denying, and blaming. So making light of the abuse, minimizing, uh, telling you it's not that serious, denying that it ever happened, shifting responsibility onto you. It's your fault that I did this. If you wouldn't have done this, then I wouldn't have, reacted that way. And, again, saying that you were the cause or the reason for the abuse. Um, that's a very, I think, common one. Has anyone experienced that?
Yeah, I not my last relationship, but one previous to that. He had three DUIs, and every time he got a DUI, he would blame me because he would say that like it would happen after we had an argument, and that he would drink and then he would leave, and then supposedly that's when he got the DUIs.
Mhm.
And so like every time, like so I was the reason why he drank, and then I was the reason why he got slapped with DUIs and court restitution fees and violation of his probation terms. And then ultimately, also because he failed to do community service, he actually ended up getting remanded to jail. And so I was like, I guess, the catalyst to all of those problems for him.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah, what I'm hearing you say is, that he never had to own up to any consequences of his behavior because he could blame you for all of his choices and bad behavior. And I think with persons with substance use disorders, who are in relationships, that is a common way that they deny that their substance use is a problem is by putting that, projecting that blame onto their partner. It's your fault.
Absolutely.
It's your fault I drink and use. um, Using your children. So we touched on this a little bit, Chloe. Earlier you shared, making your partner feel guilty about the children, using the children to relay messages. This is a common one in divorce. Using visitation as an opportunity to get close to your ex-partner and harass them, or threatening to take the children away. And can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you, Heidi. I don't see you moving.
Yeah, it said it just crashed for some reason. Oh,
Shoot.
that's a cute
Hmm.
little frozen image. Hmm. Well,
We can hear you though. I wonder if
Yeah.
you could,
I can hear you though.
yeah. I wonder if it'll fix itself or if I should restart
could you try, I don't know if this will help at all, but getting out of
the
where you're doing
sharing.
your shared screen. Yeah, I don't know if that would.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Hmm. It's just like loading, loading, loading. Let's see.